Me, it's been a while since I made one of these videos, but today I'm creating this brand new video, and it's actually going to have more or less questions. And the reason I'm doing this is because I actually missed doing Weird Wednesdays. Well, I started my first day of the new trimester last Wednesday. I didn't actually get to talk about that, but my first subject was my Harry Potter elective, and okay, it's called rolling elective, but our professor is really exciting, and I'm really looking forward to that. All the other classes, they went by really straight, and I'm actually quite intimidated, and I don't know if I did the right thing by putting all my classes one after the other, but we'll see after another week or so. Most of my questions are actually Harry Potter related questions, and these questions are actually questions, Harry Potter Nerdfighter questions, that I got from John Green's last Question Tuesday's video, which I will link to the side. Okay, so let's get this started. Ron Weasley, Draco Malfoy, or Harry Potter? I think I will best answer this question by narrating to you a story that happened during the first day of our Harry Potter elective. We were supposed to fill out this survey. How many Harry Potter books have you read? How many movies have you watched? Who's your favorite character? What house do you want to belong in? And when it was time to read my paper, our professor read it like this. Bella, Rosario, Michelle. Favorite Harry Potter character? Ron. Exclamation point. Hearts, hearts, hearts. Why? Because he needs love. What kind of project for awesome would Harry Potter start at Hogwarts to decrease suck? I think that it's pretty obvious if you've read book 5 that what Harry did was start Dumbledore's army. Okay, now I know it's not a Harry Potter related question, but I just couldn't resist. What's your favorite movie and why? This is a very difficult question for me, simply because there are just way too many movies, and considering that I'm a communication arts student, you'd probably think that, hey, you would probably have a favorite movie because that's your course and you watch a ton of movies every time there's a chance, right? But that's not true. You know, there are just so many movies, actually, because we watch so many movies in our course that we don't actually get to pick one that's our ultimate favorite. I mean, I'm sure my other friends, they probably do have, but for me, I just think that there are just so many kinds of films that have so many brilliant concepts, it's just hard to pick one. Because, you know, you kind of want to make the best film for yourself, and you want to look for others, and some people just have these brilliant ideas, some people have brilliant ideas but just execute it better. It's hard, but to answer that, I think recently I would have to say Crash, simply because it's the latest movie I watched, but, you know, that could easily change from the latest movie I watched to something I've always loved. What book are you currently reading? That is a fantastic question, because that is probably the nerdiest question out of the bunch right now. Okay, so I'm actually reading a few books. Coincidentally, because of the course and just out of nerdiness, the first book that I'm currently reading right now is Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Stone. And I'm reading this not just because it's part of my course, we were assigned to do it, but ever since I heard that the movie, the 6th movie, was going to be postponed until next July, I was frustrated, because I was really looking forward to it, and there's a reason why I'm looking forward to it. It has something to do with Ron. I was looking forward to it, and because it was moved, I was like, oh, what am I going to do for the time being? I waited already for like a year and a half, and it's not coming. So I decided to reread everything, and it just coincided with my course. So another book that I'm reading is actually something related to my course as well. It is a collection of essays. It's a collection of essays that I had photocopied because our professor requires them, and they're essays from different Harry Potter critical essay books by different authors and scholars, and it's actually pretty interesting. You know, there are 16 essays all in all in the table of contents, and I've read just 5 so far. I read the 5 in 2 hours because I was so excited for them, and I really enjoyed them. Although it gave me a headache, I really enjoyed them. The last book that I'm reading currently was something I just bought yesterday, and yes, I bought it out of impulse simply because it looked really interesting, and I just so happened to see it, and I was so intrigued because in the bibliography of the book cites Ellen Nakashima. And Ellen Nakashima, for those who don't know, is a Filipina host. She used to host this television show on one of the higher channels here in the Philippines that she would host, and she would go around Japan kind of touring the people of the Philippines, because that was a time when there were a lot of Filipinos in Japan, and that was the first show I watched that was Japanese related, and I think it was because of her that I had this intense love for Japan, and she was the first person that taught me Japanese, and I don't know, she was kind of like my idol for a really long time, and I don't see her now on TV anymore, but I know she's still out there. So when I saw her name in the bibliography of this book, I was like, I need to buy this book. And that book is titled The Asian Mystique by Sheridan Prassel. And what this book is all about is, it's not just about Japan, it's about all the Asian countries, Korea, China, Japan, the Philippines is in here, Vietnam, Cambodia, Laos, India, all the Asian countries, and it kind of focuses more on the women. It's kind of how she's saying, Sheridan Prassel is saying that the West kind of has this mystified view of the East, simply because of what Hollywood has done, Hollywood has shown, the stereotypes that we've built, and she discusses that all here, and she kind of lays it out in front of everyone, and I really find it interesting. I'm actually already somewhere here, if you can see it, I'm somewhere there already. I just started like yesterday at around 7 o'clock, and it's really interesting. It's turning out to be a good read, and the thing is, it involves a lot of history, but it wouldn't really matter because you kind of already touched up on it in world history back in high school, so it's a good read, and you get floored by all the facts that are in here about women. It's like, I can't believe they did that. What's the last concert you went to? Okay, the last concert I went to is actually the first concert I've ever gone to, which after that I've never dared to go to another concert again, was when I was in third year high school, and our dance club kind of had this competition with several other high schools, and they had a mini concert by several bands, and I guess it's because of the kind of music that they played, but it totally turned me off. Rock, like Filipino rock groups, Six Cycle Mind. There was South Border, which is not exactly rock, but then, you know, it kind of gets overwhelmed by all the other bands. I don't even remember the other bands anymore, but they played like 15 songs altogether. It was just me and my brother at around 9 to 11 o'clock, and I couldn't stand it. I wanted to leave, but then our dad wasn't around. He went home, and then I didn't want to tell him to come back and just fetch us because we didn't like the concert. And what is your earliest memory? Okay, my earliest memory was back in nursery school in Child Learning Center. I don't remember the kind of things we did there, but there was always a time after snack that we would have to brush our teeth. And I always had my toothbrush and my toothpaste, my Happy toothpaste that's orange flavored. And there was this one girl, she was kind of dark, and her hair was pulled back all the time, and it was really curly hair, and she had a gap in her teeth, and her name was Angel. I remember only because what happened was so ironic. The ironic thing was, when we were brushing our teeth, even before I could brush my own teeth, she stole my toothpaste. What is the first book you ever bought on your own? Ironically, the first book I ever bought on my own is the book that I've been talking about since earlier, Harry Potter Book 1. And I only bought it when I was in 7th grade, when I was wondering what the fuss was about, because everyone was buying this book, and it was during the book fair in school that they were selling these copies for like 300 pesos. And you can see that it's pretty old because the side is really brown, and you can't, the camera can't capture how brown it is. So yeah, that's all the questions I have time for right now. I know I took a lot of time again. You are beeping me right now, so I will stop this and talk to you now. So until next time, bye-bye. The entire time you were beeping me, I realized you were saying goodbye. By the time I looked at your messages, I was like, oh god, she went offline. So yeah, just so you know, I'm sorry.